Welcome movie enthusiasts to Movie Logic Explained, your ultimate destination for unraveling the mysteries, hidden meanings and fascinating details behind your favorite films. So grab your popcorn, subscribe and let's dive into the captivating universe of Movie Logic Explained together. Let the movie magic begin. Mortal Engines, 2018, Film Explained. This narrative takes place in a time when our world has been completely devastated, and the remaining survivors reside in colossal robotic cities. These robotic cities function like vehicles, suggesting that they are capable of movement. One such enormous mobile city is known as London City, and it is commanded by a leader named Thaddeus. Thaddeus instructs his staff to seize a smaller city in order to acquire its resources and sustenance. We witness London City in pursuit of the smaller city, with a veiled girl also present within the mobile city. Due to the smaller city's slow speed, London City gradually closes in on it. Eventually, London City opens its gates and successfully captures the smaller city. The small engine of the captured city is then dismantled and discarded into a furnace. This furnace serves as the power source for London City, enabling its movement. The inhabitants of the smaller city are also taken captive. London City intends to utilize their labor instead of executing them, but the people from the smaller city are skeptical and fear for their lives. Thaddeus arrives and assures them that they will be treated as citizens, rather than being harmed. In this narrative, we are introduced to a character named Tom, who has a passion for collecting ancient artifacts and possesses extensive knowledge of history and technology. Mr. Valentine's daughter encounters Tom and expresses her curiosity about the cause of the world's destruction. She wonders how these changes came to be, considering that humanity used to inhabit Earth. Tom explains that the world's devastation was caused by a quantum weapon known as Medusa, which obliterated the entire world within a span of 60 minutes. In order to survive, the remaining individuals constructed the massive engines that now serve as their homes, such as London City. However, there are also individuals who lead more traditional lives and oppose the use of these mortal engines. Tom notices his own belongings among the items acquired by London City from the smaller city. As he examines these items, Thaddeus arrives and commends Tom for his work. Thaddeus then questions Tom about his decision to pursue research instead of pursuing his dream of becoming a pilot, despite having received training for it. Tom explains that circumstances forced him to forget his dream and he had no choice but to do so. He mentions that he is happy in his current work. Suddenly, they notice a masked girl approaching Thaddeus with a knife, intending to kill him. Tom tries to intervene but fails to stop her. The masked girl stabs Thaddeus, claiming it is revenge for her mother, Hester Shaw. Upon hearing Thaddeus' name, he looks at the girl in distress. Her name is revealed to be Hester Shaw, and she makes another attempt to kill Thaddeus. Meanwhile, Tom tries to stop her, but she pushes him away and runs off. Tom and Thaddeus chase after her. As she runs, the girl slips and almost falls, but Tom manages to catch her hand and save her from the fall. She tells Tom that Thaddeus is not who he appears to be and reveals that he murdered her mother. Suddenly, she lets go of Tom's hand and falls into a large well where all the trash from the furnace and engine is drained. The girl manages to escape from the well. Thaddeus arrives at the scene, and Tom informs him about the conversation he had with the girl, where she accused him of being a killer. Upon hearing this, Thaddeus pushes Tom into the same narrow well. Tom is expelled from the well and Thaddeus's daughters arrive, asking about Tom's whereabouts. Thaddeus fabricates a story, claiming that Tom and the girl fell into the well while fighting. Tom regrets the situation, as he knows Thaddeus was a good person. It becomes clear that Thaddeus is manipulating the situation by lying. The girl suspects Tom's frightened friend as a witness to the truth. In the next scene, Thaddeus sends a jet to confirm whether Tom and the girl are alive or dead, but they remain hidden on the peak of the mountains. Hester threatens Tom with her knife, stating that she could have killed Thaddeus if he hadn't stopped her. As Hester is about to leave, Tom stops her and asks for her help. He explains that he has spent his entire life in London and wants to return and seek revenge. Hester's agreement to hear it is acknowledged. Present before us is Thaddeus, who is engaged in his confidential energy project. He utilizes fusion cells as the source of energy. The entire secret project was being carried out covertly, even Thaddeus's senior officers were unaware of his work. No one was allowed to visit this place except Thaddeus, and it was heavily restricted with tight security. However, Thaddeus had concerns about Hester, suspecting that she might hinder his project. Thaddeus's co-worker, the doctor, advises him to meet with the prisoner who is held captive in the sea prison located in its midst. This prisoner is a monster and a beast who constantly mentions Hester Shaw. He desires to kill her. Thaddeus immediately goes to meet the green-eyed monster, whose gaze instills horror. Thaddeus attacks the jail, and the monster is set free, fleeing to search for Hester in order to kill her. Hester and Tom settle for stale bread as a meal is not available. After having their meal, they fall asleep. Hester wakes up upon hearing the sounds of model engines. She notices that Tom is seeking help from some engines. Tom is unaware that cities victimize people by capturing them. Hunter cities attack them, but a city resembling a centipede comes to their rescue, saving their lives. The saviors show great care and offer them tea. Meanwhile, Lord Thaddeus's daughter believes that her father's life is in danger, so she seeks out Tom's friend. This friend is the same person who witnessed Tom and that girl falling into the well. When Thaddeus's daughter asks for his help, saying, "You know something," Tom's friend responds, "What would you do once you know?" She replies, "My father's life is in danger." But the friend tells her, "Our lives are in danger, not just your father's." He reveals that it was her father who pushed Tom, clearing his path. Furthermore, Tom's friend discloses that her father is developing a secret weapon to attack cities that do not rely on mortal engines like them. Instead, these cities lead a traditional way of life. And their goal is to surpass the limitations by creating this weapon. According to Thaddeus's father, those cities possess weapons, fuel, and food, and we can overcome them with the help of this weapon. Upon learning this, Thaddeus's daughter becomes disheartened. Hester and Tom encounter each other once again, and they realize that their guide is leading them in the wrong direction. Growing suspicious, they decide to open the hidden door of the engine and contemplate jumping off. However, Hester is unable to jump due to her injured leg. She urges Tom to jump, but he has developed feelings for Hester and decides not to jump, stating that they will face whatever comes together. Their guides then take them to a place where living people are being traded, indicating that they are being sold. A bidding takes place for Hester Shaw, and a random person is about to purchase her. Just then, Anna Fang, the most wanted criminal in London, arrives. Anna is fundamentally opposed to Thaddeus and the policies of London, which is why she is highly sought after. Anna Fang opens fire and saves the lives of Hester and Tom, eliminating everyone else. Meanwhile, a monstrous creature with green eyes approaches. It is revealed that Hester Shaw is familiar with this creature, but it is not disclosed how. Anna Fang manages to rescue both of them from the monster and continues on her way in her jet. During her flight on a private jet, Anna inquires of Hester how she came to know the monster and why he desires to kill her. Hester explains that the monster, whom she refers to as Shrike, raised and cared for her. After her mother was killed by Thaddeus, Hester was left without any support. It was then that the green monster found her, took her in, and provided for her. However, Hester was often filled with despair, and upon noticing her sadness, the monster made a promise to transform her into a creature like himself. The monster believed that by becoming like him, Hester would no longer experience sadness or be haunted by painful memories. In return, the monster asked Hester to promise that she would become a monster like him, ensuring her longevity. Hester agreed to this promise. However, when she discovered that Thaddeus Valentine was still alive and learned of his whereabouts, she decided to escape from the monster with the intention of killing Thaddeus. This is the reason why Hester broke her promise to the monster, as the promise was contingent upon her becoming like him. As a result, the monster became furious and now seeks to kill Hester. The scene shifts to London, where the city is once again depicted, this time moving in an unknown direction. When Thaddeus's superior officer becomes aware of the situation, he confronts Thaddeus in a church and questions how he could take such actions without his approval. Thaddeus's senior officer becomes aware of Thaddeus's involvement in a secret project. It is not something else but the Medusa project. This project caused the destruction of our world many years ago. And Thaddeus had remade this weapon again. Thaddeus kills his senior officer before he stopped him. And Thaddeus's daughter and Tom's friends were observing all these happening. It means, Thaddeus' reality has been exposed before his daughter. On the other side, Anna Fang reaches on airport landing her airship. And she meets her companions and introduces Hester and Tom to them. They know that London City is approaching them with a high speed. It wants to attack on us. And Anna Fang tells, Thaddeus has Medusa system. He can only be stopped if this system is crashed, but no solution seems to be found. Memorizing her past, Hester Shaw tells, Thaddeus and her mother were good friends. Both were professional scientists, but when her mother invented the machine which could control Medusa. Then seeing it, Thaddeus became opportunistic and killed her mother, so that he may have that machine getting the control power of Medusa. Now there was only a solution: to have crash drive in order to crash that system. But no one knows yet, where is that drive? They are all in this trouble. At the same time another trouble monster also arrives. They're destroying the airport. All soldiers try to kill monster but nothing affects on him. And this monster also catches Tom. He is about to kill Tom, but Hester requests it, saying, "Don't kill, I love him." When the monster witnesses Hester's sadness and the tears in her eyes, it decides to leave Tom. The monster never intended to cause Hester any distress or make her cry because of its actions. Now, we observe that the same monster is about to face destruction. Before its demise, it presents Hester with a locket, informing her that when they first met, she was wearing it around her neck. The monster had kept it safe and now gives it to her. Afterwards, everyone boards their airship and departs from the airport. Unfortunately, the monster meets its end there, and the entire airport is also destroyed. They eventually arrive in the city of Sarong, where the people lead a traditional way of life. Now, we encounter Thaddeus once again, who announces to his people that they will demolish the wall of Sarong. The Sarong wall was known for its incredible strength, and no one had ever been able to breach it before. However, Thaddeus claims that they possess a weapon capable of triumphing over any kind of war. By destroying the wall, they plan to capture Sarong and gain access to resources such as food, fuel, and shelter. The people are delighted by this prospect. Anna receives orders from her senior officer, Governor, to launch an attack on the city of London before it's too late. If they fail to act swiftly, Thaddeus will use Medusa to destroy their city. Governor grants permission, and the Sarong Air Force and Army prepare for the attack. Upon receiving a locket from her mother, Hester opens it and discovers the same crash drive that can be used to destroy Medusa. She immediately informs Tom about it. Meanwhile, Thaddeus launches an attack on them with Medusa approaching. This attack not only damages the entire wall but also destroys all the plans that were in place. Hester and Tom then share this information about the crash drive with Anna Fang, and together they plan an attack on the city of London. However, on their way, they face heavy casualties with many soldiers and airships being lost. Eventually, a few individuals manage to reach London City, where a fierce battle between Anna and Thaddeus ensues. In the midst of the fight, Hester seizes the opportunity to enter a church where Medusa is being recharged, as she knows she must launch another attack. After a grueling struggle, Hester successfully crashes the weapon Medusa by inserting the crash drive given by her mother. This signifies the downfall of the system. Meanwhile, Anna Fang sustains severe injuries and urges Hester to escape. Unfortunately, Anna Fang loses her life in the fight. As Hester exits the church, she encounters Thaddeus, who advises her to flee. However, Hester, aware of his true nature, refuses to go with him, calling him a killer. Thaddeus begins to leave, but Hester intercepts him, seeking revenge. In a shocking revelation, Thaddeus confesses that Hester is his daughter, revealing that her mother had an affair with him. Hester is left stunned by this revelation. Meanwhile, Thaddeus's daughter heads to the control room of London City, as their mortal city is heading towards the wall where survivors are still present. She attempts to stop it, but the control systems have been damaged, rendering her unable to do so. She seeks the assistance of Tom, who, from his airship, destroys the power source of London City, ultimately halting its progress. The significance of the furnace lies in its role as the power source for London City, enabling its progress. However, it is completely destroyed, rendering the city immobile. Tom, witnessing the ongoing conflict between Thaddeus and Hester, intervenes to save Hester. In the midst of the chaos, Thaddeus falls to the ground. As he looks around from where he has fallen, he realizes that London City is now beside him. Overwhelmed by the sight, he closes his eyes, only to be crushed by the city itself. Thaddeus meets his demise, and as a result, London City comes to a halt. The surviving inhabitants of London City seek refuge from Sangan, and they are warmly received by the governor. Meanwhile, Tom and Hester find solace in each other's embrace and decide to take a leisurely trip in their airship. They embark on a short journey, enjoying their time together. This marks the end of the movie's story. Enjoying the cinematic journey so far? Don't miss out on the next blockbuster breakdown. Hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up if you're loving the content, share it with your fellow cinephiles, and don't forget to ring that bell, subscribe, like, share, and ring that bell. Let's make every movie moment count together.